So, Trump signs an executive order, I think yesterday, expanding mining and supposedly keeping a promise to the good people of West Virginia and Kentucky that are into all this mining. While at the same time, RFK, in concert with Doge, is cutting a 50-year-old black lung screening healthcare program that President Obama bolstered when he did the Affordable Care Act, and Hillary Clinton wanted to make even more robust, and Kamala Harris had a plan to bolster it even more, while at the same time transitioning them to greener jobs, right? And this is Democrats doing it, and Biden actually bolstered it again to take care of them folks. So, okay, so just saying that aside. So, let me repeat. Trump signed an executive order, and on the other side, he cuts an advanced healthcare screening plan. A 50-year-old black lung screening plan and other healthcare benefits specifically tailored to them. That's funded by the federal government, funded by NIH, funded by different healthcare agencies. Okay? A special program designed for these miners. So you're gonna force these folks to, yeah, you're gonna open up more mining for them, but then you're not gonna give them any health care. And mining is such, right, where they mine in West Virginia and stuff like that, there's a lot of silica dust. The coal is in this silica dust. And the silica dust is so dangerous that doctors in the area are finding that miners as young as 40 years old need double lung transplants at 40. Double lung transplants at 40 with the present mining conditions. And you're taking away their health care as part of some Doge savings. Okay. Now here's the other part of this. How do those folks over there vote? How do they vote? Y'all unapologetically red as a motherfucker. Y'all vote red as hell. So again, y'all vote red and y'all overwhelmingly white. 90+% white. We're not going to get into the history of why it's so white over there. Sundown towns. Anyway, right. Overwhelmingly white. So here we go again. White people voting for whiteness no matter what. Just to own the liberals. Just to tell, the black woman, not another Negro in the White House. No more Obamas with here. Y'all voted for whiteness. Y'all voted to end this wokeness. Y'all voted to deal with the immigrants and all this stuff. And you voted to now, essentially, even though that's not what you were focused on when you were voting, because that's how you folks operate. You're not focused on that when you're voting, but in a sense, when you vote, again, I keep saying this, when you vote for a candidate or you vote for a party, it comes with not just the issue you're voting on, it comes with a suite of other issues. See, this is the shit, this American maxim. I'm not that into politics. This American maxim is going to be the end of us, is hurting the country right now. Because the majority of the American public out here, we are politically unsophisticated. We are politically troglodytic as fuck. And a lot of us are proud of it. And we still think that politics is something that's separate and apart from our daily lives, from our jobs, from what we do every day to support our kids, from from the extracurricular activity we take to our kids. For instance, we think politics is separate and apart from the fact that when your son goes Little League Baseball, that he has to wear a helmet. Did you know that having to wear a helmet required some kind of legislation? Did you know that? That's politics. Did you know playing football, you needed to wear some kind of gear around your body and helmets and stuff? That required legislation. Did you know going to the supermarket and buying food, the merchants couldn't sell you spoiled food because legislation was passed? That's politics. Jesus fucking Christ. So, these overwhelmingly white folks voted for their whiteness. They don't, but the thing about it is, this is how insidious it is. They voted for their whiteness, but they didn't realize that's what they're voting for. A lot of them subliminally were voting for whiteness, for voting to prop up whiteness. A lot of them subliminally were voting on fucking racism because they didn't like the visage of the black woman, the well-spoken, obviously well-educated, well-qualified black woman that didn't talk like they do. They voted to smack her down. They voted to stop these black people talking about wokeness and all of this stuff. And while they were doing that, to own the libs, they voted to fuck themselves over. They voted to end their own health care. They voted to end their own health care in a job that's way more dangerous than even being a police officer. You need health care if you're a minor. You cannot go into mines without health care. And to treat that shit is way beyond. It's like the money they're paying you for mining won't cover that shit. But okay, you voted for your whiteness, and this time around, the saner folks in society didn't prevail to insulate you from the consequences of your vote for your whiteness, from the consequences of your racism. And now the consequences of your racism are going to come to bear really quickly, almost immediately. And you know what's messed up? If and when we get over this, a lot of you minors over there, you West Virginians, you Kentuckians and stuff over there, you're going to still vote Republican. You're going to still vote Republican, despite what they give to you, because you're incurably fucking racist. You have this underrunning current of racism that's tied to your white identity. It's the only way you know how to be white, as I was saying. And you're going to keep voting Republican because Republicans sing to that toxic way of being white that you just can't ignore. It's like a siren song for you. And you'll keep voting against your own best interest, even if the Democrats get back in and save your fucking ass. Toxic whiteness. Yet again.
I've tried to post this video on racial equality in Harlan County, USA like 6 times, but it keeps getting marked as ineligible, so I'm just going to try and post it in chunks, so apologies if this is a little jumpy. It doesn't really matter what color you are when you're getting exploited, and Barbara Koppel, the director, highlights this in a genius way in this movie. And she shows that all the workers know this, as in this scene in a hospital when a co-worker talks about people going in all colors but coming out black, as in covered in coal dust that's giving them all black lung.
We'd be covered just black. We don't make every color when you went in it. You all be look the same when you came out. Right?
There's all brothers.
That's right, when you came out. The whites looked like the blacks, so it wasn't any different. So you know you was getting plenty dust.
The framing of that shot is genius, to make sure and show all three of them suffering from the same thing regardless of color. A move she repeats as she goes from a white dude having to use a big medical tank at home to a black dude having to use a big medical tank at home, all from black lung. And there's a lot of somewhat subtle stuff that she does in this movie that's just brilliant. Even from the very start, she frames the description of the strike starting out in this white guy whittling wood, and then pulling back to reveal that the strike crosses racial lines. Or look how she cuts as the picketers win an engagement. To me, that's a parallel with the earlier scene of starting on the white guy whittling and pulling back. This time it's a black dude singing, and then we pull back to reveal a cross-racial band, crowd, and movement. And even so, yeah, I think this should be mandatory viewing for everyone, especially in schools, especially in the South. And it gives me hope, because this isn't that long ago.
But coal is also the biggest employer on the reservation, where the unemployment rate hovers somewhere between 40 and 60%. So many work at the mines despite the damaging effects on their health. Bill Tabagay worked at the Kayenta mine for 22 years. Now, he has black lung, a terminal respiratory illness caused by long-term exposure to coal dust.
It seems like coal mining isn't going away anytime soon. How do you feel about your future and the future of others in this community?